Hello friends, now let us take up the concept number 9, 12.9 method overriding. Already we learnt the concept method overloading in the previous chapters. Method overloading is required when a method is to implement different forms. A method is to be implemented in a different forms. We use method overloading. This is a Palmer feature. For example, calculate product. You define a method. In calculate product, for one method, you are giving integer and integer, two variables, two integer variables. Other one, integer float, two variables, one is int, other one is float. Third one, float, float and float. Actually, for all of them, we are using same name, calculate product, int, calculate product, int float, calculate product, float, float, float. In all these cases, if you observe one interface, that is method name is same, but implementations are different. First one int, second one int float, third one float, float, float. Understand? That is method overloading. In method overloading, what we learned, as long as signatures are different, method overloading is possible. So, here in this example, signatures are different, calculate product int, calculate product int float, calculate product float, float, float. As long as signatures are technically different, and then n number of methods with the same name we can define in a program, that we learned. This method of overriding is somewhat different. Actually, in inheritance concept only, we have to create method of overriding. When method of overriding is required, what is method of overriding? As I told you already, whenever a subclass is created from a superclass, obviously subclass inherits all the instance variables and instance methods of the superclass, that we learned. Now, in such case, sometimes subclass may extend the functionalities of the method inherited from the superclass. Once again, I am repeating, sometimes subclass would like to extend the functionality of the method which is inherited from the superclass. For better understanding, I will give you an example. You inherit your father's car. Being a son, you can inherit your father's car. Your father's car, the purpose of the car you know. Your father's car you can use. You can use it as your own property because of inheritance. But as it is a non-AC car, you want to fix AC. That means you got a method. If you want to use it as it is, there is no problem, nobody will question you. You inherit it because it is father's property. In the same manner, every subclass can use the methods of superclass, obviously. But sometimes if it has to modify or add some more functionalities to that, then it is called method overriding. Understand? So, if you want to fix an AC or some other carrier like thing to your father's car, then it is called method overriding. In this context, one very important point I have to tell you, Actually, obviously, subclass can inherit the methods, instance methods of the superclass. There is no doubt in that. If subclass wants to use that, it need not make any modification. It can directly use it, but it wants to modify and all that, it has to override. That already explained to you. Simply, if you define that method in subclass, if you do not make any modifications also, simply same thing you copied, even though technically it is treated as overriding. Whether you make modifications or not, actually that never be done. If you do not want to modify things and all that, why should you write the same method in subclass? That is not there, but technical aspect I am telling you, same method, whatever method is there in superclass, if you copy the same method in subclass, it is also treated as overriding. Okay. So, in case of overriding, one essential prerequisite is there. The signature should be 100% same. In this case, signature definition different. Already explained to you overloading. In overloading, what is signature? The name of the method and the list of the types of the parameter. Calculate product int int, calculate product int float, calculate product float float float. That is signature. Here in that case, return type is not taken into consideration. Return type may be same or different, that is not taken into consideration. But as far as method overriding is concerned, entire header, that means including return type, is taken as signature. So, if you are making something overriding, some method overriding means, if you should take the whatever the top line header of the method, entire thing you have to take. Otherwise, it is treated as a different method. It is not treated as a overriding. In case of overriding, you must take the entire header, that is return type, name of the method, list of the types of the parameters. For example, in case of overriding, same example I am giving it to you. Int calculate product int, the entire thing is taken in case of overriding. In case of overloading, calculate product int only you take. That difference you must observe. And in this case, actually already with the reference to variable I told you, actually same names are used for variables. Subclass variable hides the superclass variable. In such case, if you want to access superclass variable from subclass, what should you do? Super dot superclass variable's name you have to use. The same principle is applicable to instance methods also. That point you have to remember. And method overriding, as several programs through several demos I explained. Here this is extension of the previous program only. There I focused on instance variable, hidden instance variable. In this case, hidden instance method I am using, and carefully observe that. One thing I am telling you, I have written big code. Out of that, if you study entire thing, only simple point is established. That is why you must have lot of perseverance in learning Java. Otherwise, theoretically if I explain and keep quiet, then you may not grasp, you may not register that point in our brain. That is why for establishing simple points also I am writing this much coding. That point you have to understand and proceed. And as I told you many times, after studying this program and working out, then you write your own notes on this point. So, you should not have any doubt. At any point of time, you must be in a position to retrieve this concept. Okay. Now, you see, this is class A, superclass. In that int x, one variable 100 I define, and here y demo one method I am defining. In that this x only, in demo a class x only I am writing. Simple method, only where you have to focus, there you must focus.